iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
You know, I think like Nick's storyline, I play Nick Carraway, by the way, and I think his storyline of coming to this new city with wide-eyed optimism is what drew me into this thing, because, you know, I'll never forget coming to New York for the first time and experiencing everything that you experience as a New Yorker, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows. And so going on this epic journey through that character has been wonderful and what drew me to the whole project.
I was drawn to the show because I love the book. I love the music. And also the book, the original classic book of Gatsby. I also really wanted to do something that didn't involve me dying. So I think that was a big draw for me. But I'm just glad I got cast, because you can only audition and go so far.
I was really excited to sort of explore what makes a man into someone that would go to the lengths that Jay goes to win back this woman that he loves. I mean, with utter faith and conviction and blind conviction. I mean, it's kind of remarkable. And also, I was really excited to get to work with this creative team, all of whom I've known previously and are friends of mine. And I've never gotten to go into a room and do a full rehearsal process with people that I already trusted and felt trusted me implicitly coming into the room. And so it was just really, it's just a love fest, you know, and it made things a lot more collaborative and lots of laughs, and also just the fact that we could create something together and not feel like we're sort of boxed into any specific, you know, that person is the boss. Like we really, it was really a group effort, and that was really refreshing for me as an actor.
Who wouldn't want to create to this time period? I mean, the 1920s, there was a lot of craziness happening, but the thing is, the advent of like jazz music, dance was different, life was different, technology, trains, like all of those things. So who wouldn't want to capture that in movement?
Jason Howland actually got the job, and we were originally going to adapt it for South Korea. We have a producer named Chun-Soo Shin who is amazing, and as we started developing it, we realized that we had something really exciting on our hands, and Mr. Shin and the PaperMill Playhouse decided they wanted to start it in the U.S., and we were so excited to do that because it's such an incredible American story, and it's such a touchstone for me as a total English literature nerd, and so it was really exciting to be able to dive back into that story that I knew from high school, and then try to round out the characters and take away the lens of Nick Carraway, and really dive into all of the characters and make them all fully rounded people.
First things that made me excited about it when I got asked to come in for the show was the description of my character, Jordan Baker. I read it and I was like, oh, that's me. That is me. That, and then the entire creative team that is attached to it was another thing. I was like, oh, okay, they mean business. And then reading the material and getting to sing Jason Howland's music, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be incredible. That even in the room, I'm kind of someone that in callbacks I kind of have to like do it and then forget about it, but this was one that I was like, I have to do this.
What drew me to Myrtle Wilson is how optimistic she is, and I love a sad clown, someone who's funny, but it's also kind of sad to watch someone try to go for a goal that you know that they're probably not going to get.
It's amazing. I mean, like you can't have a more supportive and great group of people. And you know, this is always, it's such a blessing to get to work on something new, to actually be in the room while it's being tweaked, and everyone is sort of working on the same thing together with the same goal in mind. So we're very lucky.
It has been a kind of a magical process from the very beginning. We had the ability to do a lab in December of last year, and we started our collaboration. And since then, it has just been wonderful to be able to get a chance to re-examine this material, to do it a couple of times, get a couple drafts at it, and this cast is unbelievable. I can't wait to share them with the PaperMill audience. We just have the best ensemble in town and an incredible group of principals that bring such heart, energy, and incredible depth to these characters.
It has been wonderful. I mean, we've got some amazing writers and directors and an amazing music team that's been so collaborative in bringing this thing together. I think everyone's on a common mission just to get it right. And so through that, we've been able to discover some wonderful stuff. I'm excited for everyone to see it.
It's been really exciting. I am dancing, which is not, I didn't think I would be really dancing, but she's dancing. I'm going upside down sometimes. Please help. But it's been, I think the thing that's been the best part of bringing all of this to life is that everybody is so collaborative, which you don't always find, especially for new musicals. They're developing the female characters in this production a lot more, which is really, really special. I think that's what I'm most excited for about all of it, and the thing that has been the most exciting.
I love working on new musicals. I've only worked on new musicals, and this one's particularly exciting because all the departments are coming together to make this new piece that is, everyone's firing at the top of their game, and it's just amazing to see everybody put their best. The best idea always wins. It's really, I am not articulating this very well, but it's thrilling to watch.
The end of our first act is thrilling. We've got this very classic story where it takes a very long time to get your lead characters that you've been waiting to get together, finally together, and something that we were able to do because our adaptation is not just focused on Nick as a narrator. We were able to really dive into the moment between Daisy and Gatsby finally meeting together and talking together and really try to figure out what they would have to say to each other. And I think that Nathan Tyson, who is my husband, and the lyricist, and Jason Howland, the composer, did such an extraordinary job of capturing that, and it's one of my favorite moments in the show.
I'm not approaching it for contemporary audiences. I'm approaching it strictly to further experience Daisy with how we're collaborating to create her, if that makes sense. And I think that's the best way to do it because I feel like a lot of people will have expectations of Daisy, and I think the best way to approach it is to be as connected to our material as possible, so that it doesn't feel like it's for show, even though it is a show.
Well, you're working with Evelyn Obzada, who is the absolute goofiest, dorkiest person I've ever met in the entire world. And like literally the second we step off stage, it's crude humor and just barking laughter. Like it's hard not to enjoy coming to work when you get to work with people like that.
I think there's a lot of humanity in the room, and it's great because life imitates art, so you have to bring what you know outside, inside. And the good thing is everybody brings their best selves into the room, so then when we get in here, we're just free to create. It's like a baton pass in every corner, from the music, direction, the cast, like everybody is ready to say yes and it's a beautiful process.
I can't wait for everyone to see this man's work because the numbers are sensational.
Thank you.
I think one of the most challenging parts is just trying to get it right. I continually open up my high school edition of The Great Gatsby and read back through the pages and flip back through just to make sure that I'm hitting all the points that everyone wants to see. And so I'm putting this guy live on stage in real time, and I think I just want to, get it right.
It really is in good hands. Kate has done a really wonderful job of bringing the piece into a more sort of universal relevance, which I think is amazing. Still very much in its time, but has a lot of contemporary impact.
The music alone is worth coming to the show for, and the sets and the sights and the costumes and the lights. It's just going to be your senses will be overloaded. So I mean, and that's just like kind of walking in. But for the most part, it's just really this company and the incredible work that they put together, and the fact that we all sort of have ownership over this process. I think that changes a show in a positive way. You can tell when something is sort of like ruled over as a dictatorship, and something that feels like something that people have approached with love and conviction and trust, and that's what The Great Gatsby is, at least our version of it. And you know, the story is it's a universal story. It belongs to the world. It's out in it's what's it called? Public domain. And so it's not precious to any of us. We want to just create the best possible version of this story, and there's putting egos aside and just trying to have fun and make something that's really accessible and beautiful.
It's been the most incredible experience I've actually ever had in the theater, working as a professional. When people are bringing their A game and also equally bringing the attitude of true collaboration and just respect, anything is possible. Then there's no limit, which is the perfect show to have that attitude in.
I think audiences can expect to see an epic party on stage, followed up by some real heartfelt tragedy, you know? And I think people are going to leave reflecting on this whole idea of the American dream and figuring out like where they fall into that whole position. So I think it's going to be a great tale for everyone to see.
I'm excited for the audience to see this song called The Met, which is all about not taking place at the Met. And Dominique Kelly has created this just moving piece where everything's swirling around the character of Nick, and it's just visually it's exciting, and the song is exciting, and I think it's really fun.
You know what? The thing that I'm the most excited about is the way that this treatment is able to look inside the book and to dimensionalize some of the female characters. That's something that's, I think, very different than the way that the book treats it, because it was from Fitzgerald's perspective, and because musicals allow for us to get inside the heads of our characters. Kate has been able to look at specifically Daisy, Myrtle, and Jordan, and allow for us to get a real look into what the plight of women in the 20s, and to see a little bit more of their perspective, so that it's not completely from the male perspective.
I'm excited to show representation all the way around in our show, and the great thing is 1922. 100 years ago, and some change, and I think it's best because we all look at the show with 2023 eyes, but not only do we look at 2023 eyes, we look with 2023 hearts, and the good thing is we will see somebody up there that looks like us or doesn't and be able to relate to them.
Our adaptation is filled with heart. It is playing with the idea that this is a party, that it's Mr. Gatsby's party, but the truth is that the story is one of the greatest American tragedies disguised as one of the greatest parties you'll ever go to. And that's really thrilling to watch. And it's full of musical theater moments. And we really lean into the comedy of it for as long as we possibly can. And then it's this roller coaster ride that is full of emotion and full of pathos and really, really hot tunes. So I think it's going to be really fun.
Audiences can definitely expect it's going to be flashy. The music is so catchy. Don't tell anyone. I played a snippet of the opening number for my sister the other day. She heard it once, and she's had it stuck in her head for like a week. That she like immediately picked up on the hook of it. The music is beautiful. The set is going to be gorgeous, and like the cast is stacked. The cast is stacked. So I feel like it's just going to kind of blow everybody away.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.